So, sounds like Kanye's been a little busy in recent weeks, especially with the track Easy with the game that he just dropped. So, welcome to the Bar for Bar podcast, and this week we got to talk about some Kanye. So, we'll start off with this track Easy. And actually a little bit of a background before that just to make sense of what Kanye was saying. So, we are probably all aware by now that Kanye and Kim have divorced, and Kim is currently seeing Pete Davidson. Other than that, we know that Kanye has, it's been reported that Kanye has bought the house across the street from Kim. And then after that, or at least in the last couple of days, Kanye's just been outside. So he had that weird video where he's just kind of sitting there with Julia Fox, who he's currently dating, Madonna, Floyd Mayweather, and Antonio Brown. And they're all just kind of sitting in a room listening to Drake, which is weird. And then we also have reports of Kanye knocking someone out. I think because they wanted an autograph or something. And then he may be facing charges regarding that. And then just this weekend, after the release of the song, he apparently wasn't allowed, or he was prohibited from attending his daughter's birthday party. And he had to get the address from Travis Scott. So there's a lot going on in this man's life, and I don't normally want to talk about people's lives like that, especially if they're celebrities, because who really cares? But Kanye is one of those people that he's got so much impact and so much influence in terms of like music and hip hop in general that I kind of want to see or make sense of it, especially because I feel like the general public either is totally with him or totally against him, but no one really tries to find that middle ground and make sense of what he's doing. Or at least not a whole lot of people. But also, those people are probably not vocal, or the vocal minority, whatever. Anyways, and there's a whole lot even with this song. This song, I don't know if it's going to be on Donda 2, which we just found out was apparently being done, or it's going to be on the game's next album, which is supposed to be produced by Hit Boy, which raises another thing. So I recently found this out, or just kind of, it was recent. But Hit Boy and Kanye had some sort of beef going on, and I guess it just ended. And basically what had happened was, at a base level, Kanye made it so it was very difficult for Hit Boy to work in the industry. There's more to it, but I don't remember the exact details, and I don't want to misspeak on that. But they're now working together, so cool. I don't know how serious Kanye is about it, because it is still Kanye, and he is also the person who went on Drink Champs, talked mad shit about Big Sean, and then met Big Sean right after it and acted like it was all love. So, there's a lot going on there too. Anyways, the game is on this song too, and I feel really bad because the game had a solid verse, and I personally enjoy the game, reasonably. So it's sad that everyone's focusing on the Kanye part, but it makes sense. Oh, also, this isn't going to be like a proper breakdown, so because there's a whole lot of other things to talk about, and there's only a couple lines that I really want to bring up regarding Kanye's verse specifically, because that's what's going on. So with Kanye's verse, one of the first lines is, "I'm gonna turn up the new music, wake up the neighbors," which you can pretty much assume because he bought the house across the street from Kim that he's going to be waking him and presumably Pete Davidson or whichever other man he ends up with the loud ass music. Also, regarding him getting in that house across the street, I know a lot of people were like, oh no, he's just doing it so that he could be near his kids. And while that may be part of it, it's also incredibly creepy to move across the street from your ex. I don't think I need to really elaborate on that much more than that. Then later on, he says something that just, like, I didn't catch it right away, but at least on the first listen, but like afterwards, I was like, okay, Kanye, sure. It was the line where he goes, no more counseling, I don't negotiate with therapists. Which, he could just be making fun because of the whole we don't negotiate with terrorists phrase. But it's like, are you equating therapists to terrorists? Because, terrorists are generally causing terror and therapists are ones that are trying to give you therapy and help you. So they're kind of they're kind of opposites in that way. But also you could kind of think of him saying no more counseling as no more marriage counseling. But at this point they're already divorced, so I don't know how counseling would work. Like, it wouldn't really be couples counseling at that point. But Kanye has also gone on record saying that he's no longer on medication. So we kind of know how he feels regarding doctors, I guess you could say. It's weird because, like, therapy is meant to be entirely, well, I mean, for the most part, fruitful. Like, you're supposed to get something out of it and, really try to process what's going on with you. But it sounds like Kanye doesn't want to do that. Kanye probably doesn't think there's anything wrong with him. But Kanye is also, it's Kanye. It's hard to really make sense of what he's saying all the time. Moving on from that, I mean, he says, we having the best divorce ever. Sure. I feel like one party is having a better divorce than the other. Like, Kim seems to be probably more okay, but also I don't think she's said a whole lot regarding the divorce, whereas Kanye brings it up often. So, one party is definitely having a more enjoyable divorce, even though Kanye is also dating other people. So it's weird. It's like he's so like, oh yes, I want to stay with her, but I also want to date other people. So I don't know. Maybe work something else out. Maybe be in a polygamous relationship or something. But I don't think that's what they're trying to go for anyway. Anyways, that goes into the next lines, like, if we go to court, we'll go to court together. Matter of fact, pick up your sis, we'll go to court together. So you didn't need to drag in Kim's sister, but you did, because, she has some things going on as well. The whole, if we go to court, we'll go to court together. I believe for divorce, like, if we're going to go to get all this figured out, we'll drive together. Like, no, I don't think that's going to happen now. I think that ship has sailed. I think you're going to drive separately. And then, it's just interesting that he brought up Courtney as well. It's like, you didn't need to say that. And then, he says some other wild things, like, I wear these Eazy boots everywhere, even the shower today, which I thought was funny. People have acknowledged that, like, or people have mentioned that Kanye just wears those rain boots everywhere, or those fishing boots they look like. And now I guess he's just kind of playing with it. The other line that I saw was, Rich ass kids to stay in your mama house, climbing your brother's shoulders, get that top ramen out. Bougie and unruly, y'all need to do some chores. So he sounds like he has different parenting styles. I mean, to be fair, I could see how he may not appreciate his kids being privileged or acting privileged, like, so they got to do some sort of work, like chores and stuff. But you don't have to get them top ramen. Like, there's other foods you can have them eat. Like, y'all got some money. Like, it's not like you're struggling right now. That kind of sounds like Kanye wants them to at least, if not understand where they came, like where Kanye came from. At least know that not everyone has all this privilege that they do. So I get that. And then the one line that everyone everyone saw even before the song came out. God save me from that crash, just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass. I so this crash was in 2002, Kanye. I don't know how related that crash is to what's going on now, but here we are. If you aren't aware, that crash was significant, and it was when Kanye had to get his mouth wired shut to kind of fix his jaw. That's when he did Through the Wire. And I'm pretty sure it's that accident. I don't think there's another accident Kanye really has been in since then. I could be wrong, but I don't think that those two are related. But being that Kanye is a God-fearing man, I'm sure he feels that things happen for a reason, and that crash has eventually led to this crash where he beats Pete Davidson's ass. I don't know. I mean, sure, you could argue that, like, yeah, all these things that have happened in Kanye's career have happened because of something else, but I wouldn't say that this upcoming beatdown, I guess, is in relation to that crash. I don't feel that is true. So overall, I mean, I did enjoy the track almost entirely because of the production. I mean, I don't care for what Kanye is saying. Like, well, that's a lie. So I care, but I also don't care. And what I mean by that is I appreciate how transparent he's being with how he's feeling, but I also don't know that I need to know all this information. And I don't know that we, the general public, need to know all this information. And I don't know. I was going to say I wish Kanye would just do like another interview, but this is probably the easiest way for him to get his thoughts out. Like, you just put out a verse and you say a lot of things. If he were to do an interview, it would be pretty long, honestly, and I feel like to get to his point, it would take a while. So him just saying these lines, it makes sense. Regarding interviews, I do feel like there's very few people that could properly interview Kanye at this point. I know the Drink Champs interview was really good. Nori just seems like the right person or right type of person to interview Kanye. Because, not all interviewers are going to try to go through and understand him as much or try to understand him. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here too. I know there's really two camps with Kanye. The people who they stan him super hard and they're just like, oh yeah, anything Kanye does is gospel and it's the best thing ever, and don't say anything negative about him. There are people that just meme about it and aren't really about it. But then on the other hand, there are people who are very against almost anything he does, and they're very critical of Kanye. I feel like neither party really gets in and tries to understand the other side as much. And that's what I try to do with Kanye. Kanye is the type of person I feel who doesn't really tell you like his thought process. Like, he'll tell you the end idea or somewhere near the end idea and get you there, but he won't tell you anything prior or his thought process to get to that point. At least not right away. Like, you really have to dig in and try to understand what he's saying. Like, and I think that's just the way he functions. Like, he thinks so quickly. There's just too much happening that he himself doesn't really care if someone's not on the same page as him. Like, he's just gonna do it or say it, and then if you understand it, you understand it. If you don't, figure it out or keep it pushing. Like, he's not gonna spend time to really help you understand it necessarily. But at least that's how I think of it. I mean, I could be wrong though. But yeah. aside from that, so that was a track. I did enjoy it. I feel bad that the game is on it, or I mean that Kanye is on it, because no one's gonna really remember the game's verse. It was solid. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was an enjoyable verse. And Hit Boy, Hit Boy just did a great job with the production. Like the Easy Does It and Michelet samples, perfect. Um, but yeah, it's weird. I almost feel like that this song might not come out on the album. Like if it's on the album, it'll probably be like a bonus track, or it just won't have the Kanye verse. Like it just like it doesn't feel like a song that'd be on the game's album. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like I mean, Kanye's verse does fit the whole "my life wasn't easy" sort of thing, but it's still just so focused on what's going on in his life that you don't care about what the game's doing, and that's fair because most people just care about what Kanye's doing. The game's not as popular or as big as the game, so it makes sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that song plays out or the album plays out. So there were other things that I saw that I kind of briefly touched on. So this past week or so, Kanye punched someone in the face, presumably because he was asking for an autograph and just being extremely rude about it, which I get it. I understand. Kanye has a whole lot going on, like he's got a lot happening. And sometimes it just takes something as simple as someone being rude for you to knock them on the ass. Like, if you think about it, like, if you were to be going through a very public divorce where you you very much still have feelings for the other person and they just don't want anything to do with you anymore, and you're trying to, I guess, make yourself feel better maybe by being outside and being with someone else, and then someone's just being rude, like you're probably going to feel some sort of way. Like, yeah, like I don't blame him. I understand that. Especially like if you think about it, this divorce is still fairly fresh. Like it happened right around the time Donda came out, so August. Like it's been about 6 months or so. Like if you were very much in love with someone and you like have kids with that person, and then you're no longer allowed to do or be with them, and like you're not allowed to see your kids as often, like you're gonna feel some sort of way. And then you're gonna be even more upset when that person starts dating someone else. And just, it's weird. Like it's a weird position to be in. So I understand how he may be feeling there. But it's still Kanye, so he's gonna. I don't. He tries to play it off. At least that's what it sounds like. Like I mean, on the song, he's like, "We have the best divorce ever." Like, I don't think so. I think you're really going through it. Like it's just there's a lot with Kanye, lot going on, and then just this weekend, related to the kids. Like I mentioned earlier, it was his daughter's birthday, and apparently he wasn't invited or wasn't told where it is. And then the other parties are saying like no one said he couldn't see his kids, but then Kanye made a video and said how Travis Scott gave him the address, and now Travis Scott's probably in trouble somehow. But it's interesting. Like you also have to think about it. Like Kanye is a dad. If you were a parent to someone and told, or if you felt like you weren't allowed to see your kids, you would feel some sort of way. You would be upset. Or I would imagine you would be, unless you just don't like kids. Like that's like if you're trying to be a part in, like a proper parent and be in their life, like, you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm totally fine without seeing my kids. Like, no, like, most people want to see their kids. Like, I get that. But also, we got some wild photos from that event. Primarily the one where he's picking up his daughter and like to help her hit the piñata, but it looked like he was about to fucking throw her too. So photos out of context are always fun. But there's a lot happening, and I don't know. I just wanted to kind of talk about it, like, because Kanye is, whether you like it or not, a major part in the community and in hip hop and the culture. And when we have one of the arguably greatest producers, rappers, just voices in the community, just kind of going through it, especially in the last couple years, like, you kind of gotta look and see like what's going on. I mean, you don't have to, I guess. You could just go about your day, and I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's really just celebrities being celebrities. But it's part of me is like, oh yeah, this whole, like, everything Kanye is going through will make for great music, and that's fucked up. But I mean, it's possible. But I don't want to kind of be in that state of mind where like, oh yeah, we want all of our artists to go through shit because then they put out good music. Like, nah, bro. Like, yeah, that may be the case, but it's also like, just let people be happy, you know? Anyways, I've probably rambled on enough about Kanye and his track and his life. Legitimately, we'll probably get another talk about this sometime soon because it's Kanye. Kanye goes through a lot in a couple of days, like more than I've been in the last year or two. So it's crazy. But that's all I've got. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the Eazy track. I personally enjoyed it. And I don't know, like, do you sympathize with Kanye? Like, do you understand what he's going through? Like, because, like I said, I feel like there's two camps. Like, there's the people who are just super standing him and the people who just don't fuck with him. So if you're somewhere in the middle, like, let me know what your thoughts on all this are. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.